Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I rarely sell any of my baseball cards. In fact, I think the last time I sold any cards was back in 2007. Now, I did a video about 2.5 years ago called Baseball Cards I Regret Selling. If you haven't seen that video, I will have a link to it at the end of this video. Definitely go check it out. I go over all the vintage cards that I owned and sold back in 2007. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, all those cards that I sold back in 2007, I regret. Not because of what they're worth now, but just because they were really nice cards, some key rookie cards of Hall of Famers, other Hall of Fame cards, and I don't know, I wish I never sold those. So I've been trying to pick up those cards again for my collection. And this particular card here, my latest pickup on my list of 100 cards for $100,000 is one such card. This was a card that I sold back in 2007, and I am so glad to finally have it back in my collection. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show off this new edition, card number 36 on my list of 100 cards for $100,000. Okay, card number 36 is this 1952 Bowman Warren Spahn in a PSA 4. Check out that card. I've always loved the 52 Bowman Spahn. It's a little bit of a different pose from his other Bowman cards that tend to repeat the same image. So it's slightly different. But I don't know. I just absolutely love this card. And check out the centering. This is what drew me into this particular card. Now, this isn't one of those newer PSA slabs. It's not that old of a slab. But what got me again is that almost perfect centering. The white borders there. Obviously, this got a 4. Probably just because of the corners. There are no creases whatsoever that I can see on this card. But even the corners do not look bad at all. Just a beautiful looking card. Even on the back. All right, maybe a little discoloration. Not really some wax stains. But that's a perfect back right. I mean, nice and clean. The whole card is just perfect. Now, the card that I used to own was also a PSA 4. Now, I sold that card back in 2007 for $50. Now, at the time, I think that's what they were going for. In fact, maybe they were selling a little bit less than that, because when I did the video 2.5 years ago, even 2.5 years ago, a PSA 4 was selling for around $50. So for 2007, I probably did really good in terms of what I got for that card. Now, I had to pay more than $50 to pick this one up. I think I got a good deal, all in shipping, tax. This was a buy it now. In fact, it was a buy it now, and I noticed, I didn't pull a trigger, and I noticed that it said it was no longer listed. So I thought someone picked it up. Well, maybe someone did, and maybe they didn't pay, but a few days later, I saw it relisted, and the seller dropped the price by $10. So I was like, okay, it's now back available, $10 less. I'm going after it. So again, all in with that lower buy it now price, shipping and tax, I was in for $190. So about 4 times the cost of what I sold it for back in 2007. But what I paid for it currently, it's a little bit higher than the average comp for PSA 4, but just under the recent high price for a PSA 4. And some of the ones that went for less than that were off-centered. There was one that had a print mark or print line right through the middle of the card. Of the last maybe 6 or 7 that have sold, this one, in my opinion, has the best centering and overall clean look to it. So again, so happy to have this 52 Bowman Warren Spahn back in my collection, and it now joins my 1949 Bowman that's in a PSA 5 and my 1951 Bowman also in a PSA 4. Now, I also had my eye on a 1950 Bowman before I picked the 52 Bowman up. It was a PSA 2. From the pictures, it looked fairly crease-free, although I was debating whether I wanted to spend that money on a PSA 2 and not be able to see it in person just to get a really good look at it. And by the time I was fussing around with it, someone picked it up. So the next best thing for me was to reacquire that 1952 Bowman Warren Spahn. So I now have, obviously I'm missing his 48 Bowman rookie and his 1950 Bowman. Of course, also would love to pick up his 53 Bowman as well. But in terms of these artist renditions, that is more of a photograph. But of these early Bowmans, I just need to pick up that 1950. I think I can do that relatively easily. His rookie card, not so sure. But there you have it, my new 1952 Bowman Warren Spahn. Okay, what I normally do as a recap for these 100 cards for $100,000 videos is I give you a summary of where I am in terms of how much I thought I would have to spend for those cards and what I actually ended up spending to acquire those cards. Now, as I mentioned, that 52 Bowman Warren Spahn cost me all in $190 in a PSA 4. Well, when I put this list together back in, I think it was November of 2021, I thought I would be able to pick up a PSA 5 for $150. Well, obviously the price of the 52 Bowman Warren Spahns have gone up. So as I said, I think I got still a good deal on that PSA 4, but I did have to go over my quote-unquote budget and actually drop down a grade. But for the 36 cards that I now have as part of this collection, I thought I would have to spend $5,925. What I've actually spent to acquire those 36 cards is $5,065. So I'm still $860 to the good. A little bit less than I was before I bought the Spahn. Again, I had to go over by $40, even with dropping down a grade. But all in all, I think I'm doing very well in keeping to my overall cost to acquire these cards. So yeah, very happy with my progress so far. So would love to know what you think of my 1952 Bowman Warren Spahn. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.